video here. So we're going to do kind of a pyramid here. So we're going to do 6 reps of all of the exercises, then 8 reps, then 10, then 12, and then we go back down. Sorry, I came on here to back down through. There we go. Back down through the exercises to do 10, 8, and 6. So the big one is that round of 12. Exercises today: jump squat, which I'll go through right now as you're rolling out. So jump squat is just going to be, like squatting all the way down. You can put your hands wherever you want. Some people put them behind their head. Some people just use their arms to swing, but it's a jump, just a squat down and jump up. All right, jump at your level there. All right, so we're going to do 6 of those. And then lateral squats, so your feet will stay glued to the floor there, feet out to the side. Just nothing groundbreaking here. These are pretty basic, just squatting down to one side. Make sure both feet stay flat. You're pushing through your heel on the squatting side. Band row, as we're getting warmed up here, if you have a band, that's great. You can find it and loop it around something that won't pull out of the wall. I think underneath the couch, the leg of the couch works for us here. Around the banister works for us here. So it's going to depend on the weight of your band and what you got. It's just a row, so like a half kneeling band row. So if you don't have a band, that's okay. You can just turn it into a kettlebell or dumbbell row where you're hinged over like this, just like we would do at the gym, your hand on the bench. So that's the row. You're going to do obviously each side there. So to begin with, 6 each side. Single leg glute bridge, laying on the ground, pushing your heel down through the floor, lifting your hips up. All right, that's going to be borderline rest time, but that's okay because next is the yoga push-up. So yoga push-up is you do one push-up, so you would do the push-up, and then you push up into a downward facing dog. Can I use this spot? Thanks. So you do the push-up, and then you lift your tailbone up, and you're reaching your heels back down towards the floor for a downward facing dog. Push up, down dog, push up, down dog, and we go through for 6, 8, 10, 12, whatever it is, okay? So that's the start. So if you're done rolling here, rolling would have been on your own this morning. So let's go ahead and get into position on all fours. So on all fours, we're going to just rock your hips back. So try to keep your tailbone up. Actually, I'm going to take this off. You're going to try to keep your tailbone up so that you're not rounding over at your back. Okay, the tailbone's going to stay up. We're just kind of rocking back towards your heels here and forward. Rock back towards your heels. Even as you're reaching back, you're going to try to keep your tailbone pointed up. And we're just rocking back and forth, getting the hips eased into things here. And good. Let's put one foot out to the side, and we'll do the same thing. So we're still going to rock back and forth. We're just doing it with one leg out to the side. So you'll get a groin stretch there, and we're still going through a range of motion with your hips. And out to the other side. Remember, as you rock back, we're thinking keeping your tailbone up. Okay, good. Coming back into the middle here, we're just gonna bring your leg up out to the side and around. So we're just circling your hips here. Mostly out to the side. We'll go back in just a second. Okay, switch the direction. So if you're going clockwise, let's go counterclockwise. And the last one of these, make your belly really strong so you're not arching your back. You're just going to drive your heel up towards the ceiling. So keep your knee at around 90 degrees. And we're just using your glute or your butt cheek to push your heel up towards the ceiling. Everything else should be frozen. Good, let's switch to the other leg. Circling out to the side and around. Switch the direction of your circle. And push that heel up towards the ceiling. Just straight up and down here, trying to keep your knee at 90 degrees. And good. Last one in this all fours position, we're going to sit back towards your heels. Okay, so we're going to take one hand here, one arm. You're going to drive that arm straight out in front of you, lift your thumb towards the ceiling. And then you're going to circle around behind. And you're going to put the back of your hand on your waistband. All right, so your palm should be facing up when you get to the back. And we reach back out in front, down to tap the floor. So from the floor, we raise your thumb up, circle around behind, put the back of your hand on your waistband, and we cycle back around. So we're just reaching through, taking the shoulder through a range of motion here. Let's do 5 each side. Thumb to the ceiling, reaching around, back of your hand on your waistband, and down. Once you get 5 on one side, we'll do 5 on the other. Remember, when your hand gets behind your back, your palm should be facing the ceiling. Good. Okay. From there, we're going to go to a push-up position, do kind of a dynamic pigeon stretch here. So we're going to be in that push-up position. You're going to bring one leg up and across in front of you. Hold that stretch for about a second, and then switch legs. So we're just rolling through. Once you get to the front, hold that stretch for about a second. We're going to do 6 times each side. Still in that push-up position. Once you're done, you're going to push your hips up towards the ceiling. Think of yourself as making an upside down letter V. So we push hips up towards the ceiling, stretching the back of our legs here. Let your calves drop down to the floor. You can even march it out a little bit if you need to. You know, drop one heel, then drop the other heel, just cycling through there. Okay, from that push-up position, we're going to bring your foot forward. Put your foot flat up next to your hand. Push back into the downward dog or the upside down V, and then bring the other foot forward. And let's cycle through that 3 times each side. When you push back, try to reach your tailbone through the ceiling. Okay, so once you're done there, we're going to stand and just a set of reverse lunges here, just stepping backwards, alternating these. So just alternating, stepping back, and working through 8 of those each leg. Yeah, backwards. No, I mean reverse. Yes, alternate is what that is. Reverse means backwards. Okay, last one here. We're gonna give your knee a hug, so bring that knee up nice and tall. You don't have to pull it across, we already did that stretch. We're just gonna give it a hug, pull it up nice and tall, and then we're pushing that leg back for an SLDL. Coming back up, give that leg a hug, push back for an SLDL. Whatever leg you gave a hug to, that leg's gonna go back, right, Coop? Whatever leg you give a hug, that leg's gonna sweep right through, push back. Good. Switch sides if you haven't already. Do about 6 each side here. Okay. Just to get feet warmed up and stuff, we're gonna do 20 nice easy jumping jacks. So we want to start to get your feet warmed up, start to get our jumps going. Nice and easy here. Really shouldn't be jumping your feet super wide. So your feet are gonna kind of stay just underneath you. But let's go 20 jumping jacks. Just to get your feet warmed up. And good, okay, we're ready to go. So the order is, and it's in your chat if you get lost or we haven't said it for a while. It's a jump squat, lateral squat, a band row or dumbbell row if you don't have a band, and then single leg glute bridge, laying on your back, pushing your heel down into the ground, lifting your hips up, and a yoga push-up. So we're down for a push-up, and then pushing those hips up towards the ceiling. Again, making that kind of upside down V, or like think of yourself as like a tent, okay? So we'll go through it here. Feel free to move ahead if you like. Feel free to take your time if you like. So it's up to you this morning. So we're gonna go at our speed here, probably medium, and then you guys do what you need to do, okay? All right, so we'll start with the jump squats here. Remember, the reps are 6 to begin with. So everything we do, all 5 exercises are gonna be 6 reps, okay? So 6 jump squats, ready, and here we go. No weight needed. Okay, after jump squats, lateral squats. So feet go out to the side. We're doing 6 each side here. Feel free to hold weight. One note on the lateral squat, let's do them all to one side and then all to the other. So we won't alternate with the lateral squats. Okay, so band row would be next. So if you've got something solid to attach it to, that will work. If not, feel free to use a dumbbell or a weight. Okay, once you're done with the row, if you're done with the row, moving on to a glute bridge. So turn over, facing the ceiling. Okay, pushing that heel down into the floor, lift your hips up. Six on each side. If you want to add a little to this, you can either hold a weight in your lap or really squeeze and hold at the top. So if you get to the top, make your belly really strong, push as hard as you can into the floor. Okay, once you're done, 6 each side there, yoga push-up. So you'll have to have your knees off the ground for the downward dog, but then after that, you can put knees down if you need to do the push-up. Okay. So we're working back to the beginning here. It's gonna be 8 squat jumps. Does anybody have any questions, comments, anything like that so far as we go through this? Okay. If you feel good, we feel good. We're gonna roll into the next set here. All right, here we go. 8 jump squats. Remember, on the lateral squat, you're going to do all of them one direction, then all of them the other direction. Wider feet. Point your knees, point your toes right at the mirror. Remember, you may be holding weight for these, you may not. Row is next.
Bend your knees. Bend your knees. Switch your feet. Bend your knees. Good job.
It's like we're so close to finish.
I just wanted a little extra weight on my hips.
Right after the row, it's glute bridge. And push up. Cool. You shouldn't be that sloppy with those. Put your whole foot on the ground. Don't let yourself fall off to the side. There you go. For the push-ups, it's helpful to spread your fingertips as wide as you can to get that nice stretch across your hand. Remember, modify as you need to. If half of them are from knees and half of them are standard, then that's great. Okay, whatever challenges you. Remember, we're going to get to do more and more of these. So. Another way to modify the push-ups is to do them on stairs or the back of the couch or the front of the couch. So there's lots of different ways you can modify that. Okay, jump squats. 10. Lateral squats all to one side. If you have a choice between holding weight and just bending your knee a little bit versus using just your body weight and really reaching and getting low, let's go for the range of motion. So choose for body weight with good range of motion versus weight with very little range of motion.
Exactly right.
Forward.
This
Grab with your right hand. Bend your knees.
opposite.
How we doing, gang? Everybody all right? I see lots of rest circuits. All I see is Sung-hee disappearing in the lake.
No, switch your feet.
Okay, so after the row, remember we're doing the glute bridge. I may stop announcing it now because everybody seems to be at pretty different paces here.
No, that's first.
Remember the reps are 6, 8, 10, 12. We only do 12 one time. And it's back down 10, 8, 6.
You did 12 push-ups, Gabby?
I did 10. 11.
You don't need to do this one. This one's all right, we can do our 12 jumps. Ready? 4 jumps.
Ashley, I see that you asked to add the chat in, so I put it in there. You can also click on that chat button at the bottom. We'll pull it up and you can scroll to the top, which is where that will be. But put it in again at the bottom, just hypothetically, if anyone happened to join late.
Nope, switch. Switch your knees.
So if you're keeping up with us, we're on our 12s here. Feel free to go ahead or take your time.
Oops.
Okay, starting to get into the thick of things here. 12 and 10 on the way back down are two of the toughest. Make sure your form stays good, rest if needed. Watch you turn around.
I need the carpet so my hands don't slip. You ready, baby girl? Oh, you need to bend.
Okay, working down number 10. You guys have you already done 10 jumps? You already done 10 jumps.
When you get to your last ones, you drink this.
I'll put you under the couch. Probably a little too wide there. There you go. Like a happy medium. So the intensity of this circuit kind of has to do with the weight that you use. You can use it for the jump squat if you want. I don't recommend it. I'd rather you, I guess, just jump higher. But the intensity of the circuit kind of depends on the weight that you're using. So if you're using a heavier weight for the lateral squat, obviously that's going to be easier. If you're using a weight across your lap, or sorry, harder. If you're using a weight across your lap for the glute bridge, that's obviously going to make them more challenging. Biggest thing is with that glute bridge is that you're not arching up towards the ceiling, but that you're just using your hip range of motion. So make sure you use a weight that allows you to still do that. Doing 10. It's great to see this group this morning. Lots of people working hard at it. I like it.
You hit record, right?
Yeah. I cleared up a bunch of spaces. I'll order some little ones. You got to do 15 workouts. Cole just asked if he could also get a t-shirt. I told him he's got to do 15 workouts.
Okay.
All right, ready?
I got to give him credit. He committed to all of them last week and he did them. So this week he's on a little lighter schedule. And Cooper joins us and we can get her up.
All right, 8, ready?
6.
8. Bend Cookie.
You guys are on 8?
Yeah.
Cooper, keep those feet wide. Don't just point your toes out. Just point your toes forward. There you go. There you go. Good.
Other hand.
Yeah, you can.
2. Keep your chest nice and big.
Oh, you were on.
So this part is just as important. Make sure muscles work too.
But if you can be on, it's better. Well, when it's so low.
So
You don't know. So depending on where your band is attached for the row, if it's attached low, like under the couch, leg of the couch or something, then half kneeling is probably better. So take that knee. If you're rowing with your left hand, you'll take your left knee. If it's around a doorknob or something like that, you'll see us, we're kind of split half and half here. So you can stand, if that's the case, and just set that leg back. Whatever arm you're rowing with will step back.
higher, baby. Keep your back nice and flat so that's just not one pressure point.
This is like your biggest group.
You want 8 right now?
Yes.
No, I went 6. My first.
Okay, we're starting to get into the 6s here. Don't let your knees cave in, Cole. Watch that mirror. Don't let your knees cave in. It's like number one biggest cry.
6. Last one.
It's going to feel easy compared to the 12. do yours while you're waiting.
Yeah, Mama, over the other side.
You just do yours.
You got a whole synchronous thing on. Ready? Change your feet. Ready? Change your feet. Change your feet. Slow.
Okay, we're working on our 6s here if you're keeping up with us.
Change. Change your feet. Change your feet. Bend your knee. Right. Slow down.
Put your toes at the band. There you go. Okay.
There you go.
Almost done.
Good job, guys. I like it. Ted, all I see are the beams in your ceiling, but I'm sure you're doing great.
All right.
Was that 6 for you, Ted? You done?
Mhm.
Does he have the workout yet?
What's that?
Does he have the workout yet?
Did you finish?
Yeah.
Is it finished? Goodbye.
He's putting me way down.
Back to sleep. Okay. Job. All right. We're wrapped up here. Make sure as you're doing these circuits, make sure that drinking lots of water afterwards. Have good breakfast if you haven't already. But yeah, especially if you're starting to put these together multiple days, make sure that you're recovering well too. Just put out an email yesterday or the other day about recovery and the importance of that. So make sure you're treating yourself well here. Get lots of sleep, and we're staying healthy here. So good job, you guys. See you tomorrow, maybe.